Tom Brady. Touchdown! Great play by Tom Brady.
Thought you've seen it all. That's your quarterback.
Let's start with a question. What happens when the greatest quarterback of all time leaves his legendary team, joins a struggling franchise, and people say, he's too old, it's over? Well, if you're Tom Brady, you just win another Super Bowl and make everyone eat their words. But seriously, when Brady left the New England Patriots after 20 years, even his biggest fans had doubts. Was it Belichick's system that made him great? Could he still dominate at 43? And most of all, what kind of magic keeps this man winning when most players his age are coaching their kids' teams?
This is the most asinine, maybe the most ignorant statement I have ever heard from a professional athlete.
Welcome to the story of Tom Brady, not the Patriot, but the Buccaneer. The version that defied logic, time, and critics to prove that greatness doesn't retire, it just relocates to Florida. The departure that shocked the NFL. In March 2020, Tom Brady officially announced that he was leaving the New England Patriots. For 2 decades, he was the Patriots. 6 Super Bowls, countless records, a dynasty built on his arm, his mind, and that unshakable will to win. So when he left, fans around the world said the same thing: it won't be the same. Even some analysts claimed Brady would fade without Bill Belichick's system. After all, he was in his 40s, his arm strength had declined, and he was joining a franchise known for losing. But Brady saw something others didn't: a roster packed with raw talent. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and later, old friend Rob Gronkowski. Tampa Bay had weapons. It just needed a general. A new chapter in the Sunshine State. When Tom arrived in Tampa Bay, it felt surreal. For the first time in his career, he was the new guy. New playbook, new coach, new teammates. And all this while adjusting to life outside the Patriots' ultra-strict system. At first, things looked shaky. The Buccaneers lost early games, and critics couldn't wait to declare Brady finished. Headlines read, "Brady can't handle Bruce Arians' offense." But what people didn't understand was that Brady was never just learning the playbook, he was rewriting it. Behind the scenes, he worked day and night to fine-tune the offense, adjusting it to his style. Shorter passes, smarter reads, more control. That's the thing about Brady. He doesn't adapt to chaos. He makes chaos adapt to him. The turning point. Halfway through the 2020 season, something clicked. Brady and the Bucs offense began to sync perfectly. The chemistry was undeniable. And then came the moment that reminded everyone who he truly was: the playoffs. The Buccaneers entered the postseason as a wild card team. No home field advantage, no easy matchups. But for Brady, that was just more fuel. He beat Washington, then went into New Orleans and outplayed Drew Brees in his final NFL game. Next stop, Lambeau Field against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. It was freezing cold, the kind of weather Brady once ruled in New England. He didn't flinch. He threw 3 touchdowns and led Tampa to its first Super Bowl appearance since 2003. Super Bowl 55, the home game that made history. February 7th, 2021. Tampa Bay became the first team ever to play a Super Bowl in its home stadium. The matchup: Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, the young phenom against the living legend. Everyone expected fireworks. Instead, they got a masterclass. Brady completely dismantled the Chiefs' defense. Short passes, quick reads, total control. It was vintage Brady: calm, ruthless, surgical. He threw for 201 yards and 3 touchdowns, outsmarting Mahomes at every turn. When the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read 31-9. Tom Brady had just won his 7th Super Bowl, his first outside of New England, and became the oldest player ever to win Super Bowl MVP at 43 years old. For those keeping count, that's more Super Bowls than any NFL franchise. Leadership that changed a culture. What Brady brought to Tampa wasn't just talent, it was belief. Before he arrived, the Buccaneers were a franchise with potential but no identity. In one season, he changed the culture entirely. Teammates said his confidence was contagious. He'd text them the night before games, "We will win tomorrow." He demanded accountability from everyone, even star players. But he also led by example, showing up early, staying late, and treating practice like game day. Linebacker Devin White once said, "He made us feel like we were supposed to win." That's something this team never felt before. That's the power of Tom Brady. He doesn't just throw passes, he transforms teams. Defying time. What made Brady's Buccaneers run even crazier was how old he was. At 43, he wasn't wasn't supposed to be out-dueling quarterbacks half his age. Yet his numbers were elite. 4,633 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, and just 12 interceptions in 2020. And he didn't slow down the next year either. In 2021, he threw for a league-leading 5,316 yards and 43 touchdowns, finishing second in MVP voting. That season proved its age had become irrelevant. Tom Brady had somehow rewritten the rules of aging in sports. His secret, not magic, but discipline. Brady's TB12 method, his strict diet, recovery routine, and mental training kept his body in elite shape when most athletes his age could barely run a mile. He slept early, avoided junk food, and treated hydration like religion. It wasn't just obsession, it was science, perfected. Challenges, and final season. But even the GOAT couldn't escape time forever. In 2022, the Buccaneers faced injuries, inconsistency, and media noise surrounding Brady's personal life. Despite all that, he still led the league in completions and took Tampa to another playoff run. When he finally announced his retirement, for good, in early 2023, the NFL paused, not just because of his stats, but because the Brady era was officially over. He left behind 3 seasons in Tampa Bay that redefined what greatness looks like. He took a team that hadn't won a playoff game in nearly 2 decades and turned it into a Super Bowl champion in 1 year. How good was Buccaneers' Tom Brady actually? Statistically, historic. Culturally, transformational. Mentally, unmatched. His numbers alone tell a story: over 14,000 passing yards and 108 touchdowns in just 3 seasons. But the real magic wasn't in the stats. It was in the standard he set. He made every player around him better. He brought the Patriots' championship mentality to a franchise that had never truly believed in itself. And even at an age when most players struggled to keep up, he dominated the league's best. Brady in Tampa wasn't just great, he was the definition of experience meeting opportunity. The myth becomes a legacy. Tom Brady didn't go to Tampa to prove anything to others, he went to prove something to himself, that he could win anywhere, under any system, at any age. And he did exactly that. His time with the Buccaneers wasn't a retirement tour. It was a masterclass in leadership, longevity, and excellence. He showed that greatness has no expiration date, only new challenges to conquer. And maybe that's what separates him from every quarterback before or after him. When most players see the finish line, Brady sees another race. So, how good was Buccaneers' Tom Brady actually? He was so good that he turned a losing team into champions. So good that even Father Time had to wait his turn. And so good that when he finally walked away, the entire NFL stood still, not to say goodbye, but to say thank you. Because for 3 unforgettable seasons in Tampa Bay, the greatest of all time reminded everyone what greatness really looks like. Like, share, and subscribe for more sports stories.